Well, thanks very much for joining us. I hope you're out a cup of tea. I've finished my water, and that's why I can't really talk anymore. I've got no water left. Oh, there was a bit in there. No, we talked about your house. You see, I also think that if we go down the energy thing, and I think when two people get together who are supposed to be together and to investigate, not just, I'm not talking about even partners. I'm not talking about, you know, it could be two fellow investigators, but it seems that when sometimes these two people get together, they're meant to do what they do. See, I'm convinced I'm meant to do this with, you know, with Yvette and the team. I mean, you know, the stuff that happens around us. You know, you've got, I mean, we have got a good team with, you know, we've got Kath, we've got Stuart, you know, the guys really work well. And when I did stuff with Jeff, you know, stuff happened there. And I do think there are certain people that gel, and obviously you two
I
work
completely
together.
agree, and same with Fiona with the team. That's what we've been trying to focus on doing, is getting the right people.
That's our long-term favour, you guys. Because everyone kept saying, oh, it's all fake and all this. And I was like, yeah, but maybe they've worked together that long. They've got a good energy, and that's why it works. So instead of sitting and criticising you, we'll make a good thing out of it and say, right, well,
people always criticise success anyway.
You know,
and you've got to remember is that...
Well, that's what we're doing, you know what I mean? And it's proven, you know what I mean? The longer we've worked with the same people, the more activity we're actually getting.
Yeah. But that's the point. It's fun with us. Whenever we change anything, if something changes in the group, you have this point where sometimes, you know, that we obviously always welcome everyone into the group when we can, but you almost have this sort of core crew of people that go off to do the parts of investigation until the others are sort of kind of been in there and warmed into it a bit. Because I mean, we've been working with Chris Conway a lot, who's a lovely guy. I mean, really, really. If you get the chance to work with him, you know, take up the opportunity. He's a lovely, lovely guy. He's psychic, and yeah, he's one of the very rare psychics that makes you step back and think, crumbs, there could be something to this, you know, because you know me, I'm very sceptical about psychics. I think you know, it's no secret to what I think of them. But there's just a few out there that make you go, wow. It's
take a double take.
Yeah, and Chris is one of them, and he's just a nice guy. But this is a man who was he has to live a life. You know, he has kids. He's got you know, his girlfriend that he lives with. But you know, he's had to be a single father. So it's not one of these, I've just woken up one morning and think I'm going to be psychic and you know, let everyone run around after me. This is a guy who has to work hard.
Yeah, Paul met you. It's exactly the same way. Yeah. You know, he's split up with you know, his partner who's had the kid with, and he's gone through a whole battle. And when you talk to him, you wouldn't even know. He just, but once he's on the investigation, you know, he's into that mode. What I'd like to say on TV actually is some group wanted to vet him, test him, and he didn't want to go ahead with it.
Well, we didn't.
And it's got nothing to do with his credibility. I personally, and he didn't do it because of me. I don't know whether I can trust these people. And I just wanted to say that I know I've got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I just go against Paul's credibility.
No, fun enough. I mean,
I'm not saying that team because I have a lot of respect for that team. They're very good at what they do. But who are they to vet somebody?
No, they've got no right.
Exactly. We spoke about having someone who's got nothing to do with the paranormal field. Who's got guidelines to stick to ask someone who doesn't even know what these mean, then ship off to a university somewhere. I personally would think that'd be fair, and Paul would be open to do that. He in fact said he'd do that.
No, I have to say, I know this isn't a Paul Hunt appreciation show, but I've worked with Paul before, and you know, when he came onto the show, I was very impressed with him because you know, it's very difficult for someone who's standing up saying I'm psychic to come on the show because, you know, certainly with the way I believe in psychics, a lot of them won't. I mean, we've asked a lot and they refuse to because they know they're going to get not a hard time, they're going to get an honest time, and a lot of them don't.
Interesting you mentioned that. I had contacted a few groups to come on this. I was trying to help you guys out, and I got a phone call off one of the groups saying, well, what's going to happen? I said, well, you know, you're going to be debating, you're going to be talking about this. No, not going on, forget it. You're just going to have a go at us. I go, well, what have you got to hide? No, forget it.
That's the whole point, is that if you've got nothing to hide, there's no, because it's an honest account, and that's why a lot of people won't come on it. But again, with Paul, no, I will stand up for Paul's credibility as well. As a you know, I know he's open to be tested, but in a controlled environment.
Yeah, and like I said, these may have done it in a controlled way, but because he's my friend now, I speak to him as a friend. I just couldn't consciously say, go and do it, because I don't know if he'd get.
We have to be careful because there's a certain point. And I think with the testing of psychics, you know, there's a point that I think there should be testing. I think there should be, but there should be a body to test, and I think there should be a correct way of doing it, which is a very difficult thing to
of course,
to put in place. Because who do you trust? And I think that should be people. I don't think paranormal groups should do it. I don't think people, you know, I don't think television shows should do it. I think that this is something that should be behind closed doors, and it should be something that isn't published. It just means that psychics should be accredited, and it's not to sit there and say yes, we believe you're psychic. It's just to say that we believe you have the credibility
you have a gift
to continue
of some
sort. With your psychic
To be
ability.
honest and open with it, like treat people with respect, isn't it? Basically, treat other people like you'd like to be treated yourself.
This show, a lot of people won't come on it. And that's because, one, they know they're faced with me being very honest with them. And, you know, I'm happy to answer any questions, as always have been. And they need to be honest. And that's why it's as soon as somebody says no, you think, well, what have you got to hide? Because at the end of the day, you know, we're all here. And this whole programme is just about us all looking for the same thing, proof of the paranormal. We should all be working together with it.
Exactly.
You know, and
I just don't understand why we can't. I tell you,
do you know what?
online communities are the worst things. You know, this is a pure example of what groups can be like. If someone put a phrase in Latin on Facebook as the status, and Tasha recognised it, and she would put, oh right, I recognise that, such a thing, and then someone else in the same team put a massive phrase in Latin. Bet you can't work that out of Google, can you?
Honestly,
that's the sort of people you're dealing with.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the internet, although it's, I think, 10% of the internet is a really great thing, and I think some of the information you've got in there is good. I think 90% of it is a horrible. I think it's negative. I think that the people that go onto all these chat rooms and all of that, they're usually just sad, angry little people who have not achieved anything in their own lives. They're trying to knock down what other people have done.
All sour grapes, isn't it?
But all of these people who are, you know, if they're having a go at you, they're having a go at us, they're having a go at whoever, because you know that's what they feel the need to do. That I know for a fact, I could ask any single one of them, say, well, why don't you come on the show? They would love it.
Exactly.
Become a part of Most Haunted. They would jump at it. And the same as you guys, you say, well, be a part of our investigation team. They would jump at it. They would leave everything behind and jump at the opportunity.
No, they would.
And we work so hard, don't we, to try and get everyone together. I mean, we're always asking teams, come and work with us, you know, come along and work together. We're still learning. We've only been doing it 4 years. We've got a lot of stuff you could ever learn enough, you know what I mean? And there's no expert in the field at the end of the day.
What do you think? I think personally we represent 95% of actual paranormal investigation. We don't have parapsychology degrees. We've had experiences and we want to try and find answers for it, and that's what we're here.
The thing is with parapsychological degrees, and I know Kieran will not be happy with me, but as I think they're a kind of a waste of time, only purely because your parapsychology, you know, what is it? You're looking at the possibility that something isn't there. And you know, you're doing a great deal of work on something you possibly don't really believe. I think a paranormal investigator, someone who spends their time and their effort, as we all do, you know, and you know, it's very easy to just look at a 46-minute television program and think that's all you've done, and look at maybe, you know, a report that you've written on the internet that, you know, is in all honesty, you're talking of a couple of pages, and people think they can pick holes in that if they want.
I tell you, they go through it and say, I think you spelled vigil wrong there.
Yeah.
They'll go through the spelling mistakes.
Absolutely. But this is the point of we've always wanted this. I know you guys do as well. You want some water, don't you? Let's pretend. Have some spiritual water.
The spiritual water's even better.
Oh, isn't it just? But where's it gone now?
I've got loads.
It's in the dolphin.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Beat her up and take her water. But this one, it's one of those subjects that we could go on and on. Unfortunately, we've just come to the end as my producer's just winding me up. So we've got to leave you. But guys, thank you so very, very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, as absolutely always. And thanks so much for joining us. See you again next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.